So this one's gonna be again about Tim Ferriss, Tools of Titan, and this is actually the second episode, and I should probably actually change the background kind of picture you're having or seeing there. But yeah, see you after the intro. It's doing very fucking well today. It's just amazing. I deeply love that, when everything is working out fine, with the speaking as well, when I'm feeling good, when everything is kind of fluent. I guess it's just an amazing fucking feeling. And with that being said, hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics fucking podcast. And yeah, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing fucking well. I'm pretty fucking pumped to go through the second actually recording of today. Because it's gonna be for tomorrow actually. And today I also do have to just record another episode. So actually 3 episodes for today. The problem about this is that then I'm gonna have one day where I do not record anything, probably. So I basically don't know, but I assume it's the case, which is not that nice. So I don't actually like that, because for me it feels like, okay, when I'm not recording for one day, I somehow lose a bit of the ability to speak. Maybe it's just in my mind or in my head, but it somehow feels like this, and it's not that well. It's feeling not that nice, but I just seen that there is the fucking towel again, and I should probably get the fucking towel. A second, please. And I should probably also drink something. Because drinking is good. You should drink as well. Let's make it like this. While I'm actually getting my towel, you're drinking something, because it's important. And God, I'm looking so fucking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow is actually the last day of the week before the last week. So the next week's gonna actually be the last week of school for me this year. And everything is fine. I do not have to do the class again or something. However you actually say that in English, I don't actually know. And yeah. Everything's doing fine, and pretty happy, because tomorrow we're gonna play soccer once again. We haven't been playing soccer in physical education for quite some time. We've been doing some sprinting tests and some long jump tests and some other things. The last time actually we did play a little bit soccer, but it's always when the teacher is not there, people are not playing kind of seriously, which is something I do not like. Well, because I do just want to have a fucking match, like a serious match, a real match, where you can just also play seriously, because soccer has always been something that is just, a passion of mine, I guess. And I've actually been also thinking about whether I should try and get a pro player. I've been trying, I think it was 1 year ago by now. Yeah, I think it was actually a year ago. I've once again started playing soccer professionally in a club, and it was great. I played the rest of the season. Actually, I think I joined mid-season or something, which was quite it was great. And the best thing about it was when I just got used to it, and when I got used to going to the training and doing all this stuff, and just. Yeah, it felt great, what I like most about playing soccer is actually the matches, and actually play against some other clubs, and I don't know, I think I don't like the training that much, but I do just like playing games, or playing in a game, especially when I'm doing well. I do like it then the most, kinda, obviously, but yeah, I'm really liking it, and I was actually wondering whether I should start again or not. The problem that I'm seeing is that I do also just have to take some balls with my head, which I'm actually concerned about, to be honest, which I'm really concerned about, because I kind of feel like, what if I get dumped because of it? Because I always get hit on my fucking head by a just not that soft ball multiple times, potentially or theoretically. Well, more potentially than theoretically in a game. It doesn't feel that healthy. to be honest, but I don't know. Like, I really don't fucking know. Maybe we should try it. Maybe I should actually try it, because I also think this is actually one of the things that I was meant to be. I also think that I was meant to be to speak, actually, because I really seem to, first of all, enjoy speaking. I really deeply enjoy speaking, but I think, in my point of view, I'm able to speak in a great way. Like, when I'm doing presentations and whatsoever, I've never had problems with it. I sometimes have problem with actually kind of with being a little nervous. Just not that much as like, okay, I'm gonna freak out or something like this. But being as nervous as my voice actually getting a little bit like just tingly, I guess, which is, I don't know, which is not that good for a speech. But I really love it again as well, and also like to write speeches. The funny thing of today was that I've got some exams back, and already got the mark that I've written in certain exams and whatsoever. And today, I think it was the second time in 5 years of going into the new school where I've actually gotten an A in a German exam, in a writing exam. And the whole thing was about writing a speech. And then I was like, and also my girlfriend was like, okay, I've said you should probably just do speaking professionally. And I thought, like, well, it might actually be the case. I'm talking here, I'm talking just, I really like to talk when I'm in school, when I'm doing some presentations or something. I like to present some things. And I seem to be good at writing speeches. I don't want to say only because one teacher said, okay, it's a good speech, that it is a good speech, because it's definitely subjective. But I don't know. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because I've been listening to so many speeches. I really don't. But I think we just should go ahead with the summary, because I've already been taking 7 times. 7 times, yeah. I've been taking 7 times. 7 minutes of time off of your life. I'm sorry. So short quotes. We're actually getting nearer and nearer to the end of this summary. So the short quotes. Here is a summary of the best tools of Titans. Short quotes. Be so good they can't ignore you, from Steve Martin. There is actually also a book called like this, or named like this, or named after this maybe. And I do believe that Steve Martin is actually the author of it. I don't actually know. I only assume. Everyone is interesting. If you have ever bored, if you were ever bored in a conversation, the problem's with you and not the other person, from Matt Mullenweg, or Mullenweg, or actually Matt Mullenweg, who knows. But I think in general, blaming others for some shit that might be bothering you is really unnecessary, and I guess it just, even you're taking actually a step back, because you're putting someone else or you're giving someone else the power to actually change how you're feeling, or to change the situation so that that something changes about you, your mood, or your kind of something like this, But if you kind of blame yourself for what is happening or what is bothering you, you and only you have the control over what's going to happen. So you will also have the control over the whole situation, which means that you only have to change the situation, and you do not have to wait for somebody else to change the situation. Life is always happening for us, not to us. It is our job to find out where the benefit is. From Tony Robbins, and I do particularly find that great, because I do think it is true, because it is really often the thing or the case that we just need to search for certain things, and it is not about waiting until they come to us. It's really about searching and trying to find them. I've been speaking about this in terms of happiness quite often, I guess, but I think it's actually the case for not only happiness, but for some things. Kanye, or is it Kanye? No, it's Kanye. Kanye, why do you have a giant picture of you on the wall? Well, I got to cheer for me before anyone else. I got to cheer for me before anyone else can cheer for me. From Kanye West. Something that Gary, for example, said once is that you should be your greatest fan, because there there might not be just too many people who are gonna be fans of you. Or you should, well, it was definitely about actually kind of maybe being proud of yourself or something like this. So definitely just into this direction, some words in this direction, because nobody's gonna be proud of you. And I don't know, I do also think that your happiness shouldn't be outsourced, I guess. And you feeling great should also not be outsourced. There was once actually a German YouTuber, and he's also doing some motivational stuff and some self-development stuff as well, but in German. Patrick Risa, actually, if you're just interested in that, maybe he's also having some English content. I actually don't know. But the case is that he said once that it wouldn't matter if someone killed all his family members, his wife, his dogs, and whatever, he would still be happy because he's in such a great place. And I think it's quite hard to believe to some degree, or maybe for some people, but I kind of seem to get it, even though it just seems to be so overdone and so kind of maybe too much, but I believe in it. I really believe in it. And I do think that I think he would just feel sorry for not feeling sorry. Maybe. And this is then, this is just one of the kind of situations where you would actually judge yourself. I've been thinking about the whole judging yourself kind of topic a bit in the last, I think, few days and something, because just, quite a bit, like not all the time or something, but when I felt that I maybe was judging myself, I was thinking like, was I judging myself right now? And why am I doing this? And whatsoever. But I do think that I'm first of all judging myself. I wouldn't say often, but really sometimes. Yeah, I really do. And I think it also is important to understand that you are judging yourself at the time, because I don't know. Like, I do think it is not something that's so incredibly kind of easy to see. At least for me, not. At least it's not the case for me. For some people it might be just really fucking easy. For me, it's actually not the case. But it shouldn't be the case. You should not judge yourself for things you did, for things you have done, whatsoever, because there would have always been a reason for it. I guess, at least, or, should be a reason. Trust and attention. These are the scarcity items in a post-scarcity world, from Seth Godin. Seth Godin has such a lot of amazing quotes, I guess. When you complain, nobody wants to help you. If you spend your time focusing on the things that are wrong, you become a source of destruction for people. From Tracy the Nuncio. And it's actually true. We always have, we always can decide, whatever we're thinking or focusing on, whether we're going to focus on the bad thing, whether we're going to focus on the really fucked up things, or whether we are going to focus on the good things and those great things. And I guess it's also the case, if you are just focusing on the good things all the fucking time, you're also going to feel good, because there is nothing else in your life, because you're focusing on it, than the positivity and the happiness and the good things. These things that make you feel good, these things that make you happy, and these things that are good for you and not bad for you. Money is a great servant, but a horrible master. From Damon John. Isn't that Diamond Johnson, I guess? I think he's an author of some pretty known books as well, I guess. But I don't know. The faster you move, the slower time passes, the longer you live. From Peter Diamandis. I don't know, but I've actually... Maybe it was from some crazy Instagram sites or something, could actually be the case, I don't know. But I've read somewhere, or somebody told me, I think it was actually a colleague of mine or friend of mine who told me that people who just move fast, and I don't know if this is actually the case. I don't know. I think the faster you move, the slower the time is going to pass, is actually maybe due to, might be due to, I think it's, in the end, I think it's physics, to be honest, which is actually the case also when you, for example, when you're having a clock on the ground, like in some place on the ground, it should just be on the ground. and you have another clock on a flight or on a plane, the clock on a plane is going to tick slower than the clock on the ground. If I just know this, it would actually be nice to plane clock versus plane clock experiment. This sounds I think I found something, and I'm also, I think, able to show you here. Window. The other window, yeah. There you have it actually. I just do have to see how I put this. So the Haverly-Keating experiment was a test of the theory of relativity. So it's basically, I think, physics, yeah, should be. In October 1971, Joseph C. Haverly, a physicist, and Richard E. Keating, an astronomer, took 4 cesium beam atomic clocks aboard commercial airlines. Aboard commercial airlines. They flew twice around the world, first eastwards and then westward, and compared the clocks against others that remained at the United States Naval Observatory. When reunited, the 3 sets of clocks were found to disagree with one another, and their differences were consistent with the predictions of special and general relativity. So yeah, they definitely changed. This is kind of what I get out of it. I don't know how it is how it is actually working or something, but it seems to have something to do with relativity. By the way, today I've actually screwed up. Is it not in terms of screwing up something, so just making it bad or something, but actually repairing it. I've taken the screws out of my MacBook to actually get under the hood and to actually see whether something is wrong, because I've noticed yesterday a sound of the left fan actually doing some airplane-like sounds, which was amazingly loud, first of all, and you were also able to hear it in the episode, and now everything is fine. What I've seen is, first of all, a screw is missing on the left kind of fan, and I do think this was actually the reason why the fan was somehow maybe too high up or too low down, so that it might have been kind of in the way of the fan, or just not creating the space for the fan, or there's somehow conditions for the fan, so that the fan somehow kind of just made a different sound. Yeah. But what I've also seen is that there's such a lot of fucking dust in my fucking PC. And it's just amazing. And I'm wondering that this is even working, by now. There's such a lot of dust in it. It's really amazing. And I think if you're having a MacBook, you should totally screw it up, or screw all the screws out of the whole kind of thing. On the back of it, I'm having a mid 15 device. Yeah, maybe you just blow it out, everything, but I wouldn't do it with a hairdryer or something. I guess I don't know. First of all, the warmth wouldn't do this, but also I guess, maybe the strength of the whole blow might be too strong, and it might just fuck up the whole thing. I was actually also kind of concerned that I might be spitting into the thing when I'm just, when you're blowing like this, then you sometimes spit something. And I was actually feared to actually fuck up something because of some weird spit. But yeah. Discipline equals freedom, from Jocko Willink. I am not against fear, I am pro-bravery, from Caroline Paul. A person's success in life can be measured by the number of uncomfortable conversations had, from Tim Ferriss. I treated every single patron like a 10-second love affair, from Amanda Palmer on Succeeding as a Street Performer. Well, it makes some sense in this context. We don't talk about teaching disabilities, only about learning disabilities. From Eric Weinstein, or Weinstein, once again, and I think it's particularly true. One of the things that I'm also seeing with teachers is that they are always going to blame the students. Some of them for sure, not always, it's maybe a little too overdone, because some teachers are not like this. But most of them are gonna just not think about actually having done something wrong, or something maybe insufficient, or maybe something unproductive or something. Most of the time it's just the student's fault. Even though a lot of teachers ask about feedback for them and ask whether they have just explained it well or not. So really not gonna put everyone into the same bucket. I don't know if I can stay up that late. From Julian Swinger, professor who has asked whether he could teach the 9 a.m. course. Well, there's always just two ways to actually see that. Where either it's fucking late or it's fucking early. There's no excuse for spending most of your life in misery. You've only got 70 years out of the 50 billion, or however long the universe is going to be around. Again, from Naval Ravikant. The notes are right underneath your fingers, baby. You just gotta take the time out to play the right notes. That's life. From Ray Carlson. If you say you're not creative, look at how much you're missing out on just because you have told yourself that. Which is actually some of the things that I'm also monitoring for myself. I always just try to see whether I'm saying something that's restricting myself for doing something. Merely by just the task of saying something or saying this particular thing. Just a little fucked up. Just maybe I'm overdoing it. I don't fucking know. Just fucking look in the mirror and check yourself out. My aspiration is to go underneath and be a ghost. From Justin Mega in response to where people can find him. You have to have penis skin in your abs. Charles Poliquin describing what sub 10% body fat looks like and the point at which you can see all the abs. I wouldn't particularly say so, because you can also see my abs, and I'm definitely not beneath 10% body fat, I guess. I might be just at 10%. So can I show you my body fat? Like, there's not a lot of body fat. Like, I think there you can see well, not when I adjust. It's quite not that much. You can see the muscles beneath my skin and something. Why is it the case for me? For some people that might be interesting, could be the case. I'm eating fucking healthy. When you're working out and with working out, it is actually the same exact thing with quite a lot of things. It's the 80-20 rule that can be applied to the whole thing. Because it actually is 20% working out and 80% your fucking nutrition. Something that I always feel. Because I truly work out, I think, 3 times a week. Might not be that much for some people. Some people might be working out 3 times a day. Could actually be the case. The problem that I'm having is that it worked for me. Or it is working for me. I'm not necessarily saying that it might be working for you as well, but I see the progress. The thing there is that you just, really have to, you really have to just, maybe, you just have to have a great workout when you're working out 3 times. Like, you do just have to fuck yourself some sort of, at least it's the case for me. Maybe it's just because I wouldn't feel good if I would not do this. But I'm feeling good doing this. So I feel good, first of all, just working out 3 times a week, because I've also just tried to work out more, especially because it is somehow placed a little bit, or it's somehow not that well timed, I guess, because I'm actually working out on it's Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. Which means like Tuesday, Monday not, Wednesday not, Thursday not. Well, actually on Friday as well. So Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. On Friday I normally have physical education, and this is then my sport. And this is then my sport for the day. And the problem there is, you can see, okay, Friday, 1 time break, Sunday, working out, Sunday, Monday is the 1 day break, Tuesday, working out, Tuesday, Wednesday break, Thursday break, Friday, working out. Something that I particularly do not like, that I'm having two days, 2 days of rest between two working out days, because I kind of feel like, or I kind of found for me like, that it is good when I'm working out 1 day, then 1 day break, and then 1 day working out. It's still, it for sure gives me some time, because sometimes I'm really not feeling like working out. I really don't. Especially if I do just know, okay, this day, because I'm working out, it's not going to be the best day for my sleep, which is actually the case for the last week, actually. The last week I haven't been sleeping quite a lot, due to me just, not having that great time management, I guess, because I would have been able, if I would have wanted it just really fucking bad, I would have been able to do that. I would have really been able to just get to bed so that I at least get 7 hours of sleep, feels great if you're getting 7 hours. I don't know. Like, I think, Matthew Walker, for example, the author of Why We Sleep, which is actually a good book. It's really a good book if you're interested in sleep. And I've already actually done a few episodes on this one, on this podcast or on this channel as well, which has been actually really interesting. Also, there were just some scientific facts about sleeping and sleeping better, why we sleep, why some animals don't sleep. For example, dolphins and something like this, they do not have REM sleep, which is actually the sleep where we memorize things, where we kind of regenerate, as I know, and other things, I guess. And they're not having REM sleep because they would drown. They would fucking drown. It's actually the case. It really fucking is the case, they would fucking drown. It is, I don't know, like, it's a little crazy if you just think about it, just having fish actually sleep, but they are sleeping, and also the case is that in REM sleep, you do not have control over your muscles, also not subconsciously. And this then I think was the case for the dolphins, because if dolphins, or I think fish in general, or all these fish and or water animals that need air, if they would not be able to kind of use they're definitely not wings. This is what I know. But I don't know what they're called. But if they can't use their kind of arms, let's say, they would just really drown, and they would, I think, also, they would drown. Yeah, they would really drown. Not that nice. Really not that nice. But this is actually already, today, everything is going really fucking well, and it's just incredible. It's really incredible that talking today is just going so well. I'm happy about this. I'm really happy about this, but I'm really hoping that you have got something out of this one. Actually, not a lot left for today. But this is the end of the episode, and I do also hope that you have enjoyed it. I also hope that you have gotten something out of it, and I also hope that you're doing well. And I wish you the best health, wealth, happiness, and success. And I also hope that you're going to remind yourself on how you're going to be remembered. So basically, your legacy, and therefore how you're going to be remembered as a good person or as a bad person, because it's definitely in your hands. You can decide quite, you can't serve every single person, though. This is something that I think has to be said, but it is in your control, basically. I see you. Thank you very much for listening and or watching.